Glamour girls and gentlemen, today I'm going to show you or talk about how to make a healthy alternative to a pizza. Because obviously I want to feel like a vintage housewife. We're making do what we have in the cupboards already, because certain ingredients are from our breakfast cereal, and I'll talk about it in a few minutes. I felt like a pretty much of a vintage housewife all day today, due to the fact I cleaned the house from top to bottom with 40s and 50s music on full blast whilst I was cleaning and getting all the bad spirits away. So cleaning is not just for making things hygienic, making things look nice and smelling nice. It is good for your well-being, mind, and I feel like it's pretty much of a workout too, getting all the dirt away. So now it's coming time to make my dinner. So the dough, I've already made the dough, so I'm just going to talk to you about how I made it, like this. To be honest, I have borrowed this idea. I will share the link below, but instead of just making a Weetbix flatbread, I'm using it as a Weetbix flatbread for my base of my pizza, to make it a little bit healthy and a delicious dinner too, because let's face it, everybody loves a good pizza. So in this recipe, you have one big bowl. Use self-raising flour. I'll put the measurements down below. And in this one, I have used 3 Weetbix. Yes, I know, I say Weetbix, which is breakfast cereal. No, crush them up. That is got fibre and really good for you. So you can put that into your flour mixture, mix it together, and it's added a healthy benefit to your flour. You could use whole wheat flour as well if you like, but I didn't have any of that. So like I'm saying, use what you have in the cupboards, because you make do with what you have. Just think what they did back in the war with their rationings. They had to make do. So that's what I've done with my interpretation from this recipe. So that's all the dry ingredients. In a separate container, so I used a jug, you want warm water. I think I used 175 millilitres of water, and 3 heaped tablespoons of olive oil. Olive oil is brilliant for, it's a healthy oil as well, from what I've read. So, and if the Mediterranean guys get to use olive oil and swear by it, then I'm pretty sure I can too. So I'm going with some healthy olive oil, which is virgin olive oil, plus Weetbix in my flour. So there. Once you've got those two mixtures, you've got your dry and your wet ingredients. So in your dry bowl, make like a volcano kind of feel, like in the middle. Just separate it, just make a hole in the centre, and then all you do is pour the wet ingredients into the dry mixture, and with a wooden spoon, well, I use a wooden spoon, feeling back, like I said, vintage housewife. So combine it all together, mix it up. Once all the flour is incorporated into the dough, you want a soft dough as well, and then take all the dough out of the bowl, and this is where I use a chopping board as my surface rather than using the worktop, just because it's easy to clean up after, but it's totally up to you. This recipe said to use like flour on the board whilst you knead the dough, but to add an extra texture I've used semolina. So I use semolina on the base, and then you knead the dough for about 5 minutes. You want the dough to get stretchy. You're kneading it, and it's proper workout. You're proper kneading the dough to get it stretchy. After that, once it's all combined, it's stretchy, it's smooth, you need to wrap it up in some cling film for about half an hour in room temperature. So I've just put it in cling film into my glass bowl, and I've just left it onto the side for about half an hour. So now the dough should be ready to cut up. I'm going to probably cut it into half. Due to the fact of it's for my dinner and for my mum as well. We're gonna have big pizzas. So this recipe that I did for flatbread, you can make about 8, I think it said on the recipe. So I just half the recipe to make it separate. So now just use one. Kneading it back thing. Kneading a little bit more. See, it's stretchy now and smooth. I'm just going to get the rolling pin actually. I'm wanting it so that you want it really thin, or not as well thin as you can probably go with it, because you did knead it. It has stretched. That's to do with the gluten in the flour, I believe. So you want it it doesn't matter if it looks totally rustic, because again, you are at home, a home cook, and sometimes it looks quite nice being rustic. It doesn't always have to be perfect. Imperfections are beautiful after all, or some anyway. Whilst I am just rolling the dough out, I'll talk about what I'm wearing. So I'm wearing a bottle green, like a suede type material, wiggle dress today. I'm not really sure where I bought it from, so it was a bit of on a whim. So, and it is from a modern website. It's not a retro dress, it's not vintage, but you can still style modern clothes into vintage. So I think you probably call it a bodycon dress nowadays, but it is pretty much a wiggle dress. It's off the shoulders, and you can put a belt on it like so, And there you could have it like a pin-up wiggle dress, and then all you need to do is add a scarf to it. You could probably, I was going to try and find my green turban to go with that. That would look pretty cool with this too, but I don't really know where that is at the moment. So that is my style, what I've worn today. But back with the food. So I'm just going to wash my hands again. So, back to the dough. That's one pizza dip base, and I'm just going to transfer it to a tray. So I'm going to use a baking tray, like so. So my dough is all flat as I want it, and I'm going to stretch it out a little bit more. This is where my skills might fail me, but I hope not. You start to just stretch it out. You can tell when a pizza or a dough is ready, or you've kneaded it very well and you've got the stretch in it. You've got enough stretch. Back onto the board so I can stretch it out a little bit more, because I am not a pizza chef, so I don't particularly want it to be flung around the floor. So, there we have it like that. Onto the tray. And now back with the olive, get some more olive oil. Just kneading it flat again. Just a drizzle of olive oil on there. So a drizzle is on. So I'll show you one pizza dough like that. Got a drizzle of olive oil to keep it moist, as well as the flavour. Because my oven doesn't technically need preheating, as it is a circotherm oven, I've got it on 180, and I've just got to keep an eye on it. So there you go. So that is, you want it cooked enough, but not too cooked and too crispy, because you are going to be baking it again with all your pizza toppings on. So that's the base of one of our pizzas. That's your flatbread with Weetbix. I thought I'd add as well, with that plain mixture of flour and stuff, I thought I'd add a little bit more flavour, as it is for a pizza. So I added some mushroom powder and some mixed herbs. I know, it looks very... Now that I've got my dough, that's ready. You can also you're just prepping this meal or this dinner. so that you can just put it all together and put it in the oven ready for whoever is coming home from work. It is super easy. So I made my tomato sauce for my pizza. I will go through the ingredients again. I've used olive oil, then I've heated up some minced garlic and some peppercorns in there. Warm that up so the flavours infuse the oil, and then you put some 1 tin of chopped tomatoes in, a good squidge of tomato puree, so it gives it a depth of tomato. And then to add another dimension of tomato, you have some sun-dried tomatoes. Have that in there, and then another ingredient to add a little bit of acidity is baby beetroot that is pickled. So pickled beetroot, slice it up and put it in the pan. Whilst all the flavours are warming through, getting all the lovely flavours out, that's a good time. And where it starts to hubble and bubble in the pan, it smells divine. I know it doesn't really help when it's through a screen, but you might have to try it out and test it. Then you can smell the divine tomato sauce yourself. Then to make it thick and luscious and well-rounded, I've just used my hand blender and blend it to smooth and thick, as you can. Now it's ready to cool, and then with this pizza you can put any toppings on it that you wish. With all the preparation done, whilst you've got your tomato sauce, you can leave that to cool, and you've got your base, you can leave that to cool, and then once your people who you are eating dinner with have come in from work or have joined you, you can time it well enough and just put the sauce onto the base and add all the topping you wish. Today, because I had some tinned crab in the cupboard, we used some of that. I use some courgette, leeks and some cabbage actually, and it was a bit of a random one, but I put it in the oven just to round off and put cheese over it, just like you would do a normal pizza. The only difference is my cheese that I used was 30% fat-free, so it's a little bit of a healthier option. So once the melted cheese is on and the dough and everything starts to warm through, it probably only takes 10 minutes, and then you're ready then to serve. So it doesn't take that long, and the preparation can be done in advance, so it is good.